4, 3, 2, 1.
Wow, we're back.
I mean, we did miss our preseason show, and we're a little late on the trade deadline show, and I guess we're in time for down the stretch.
Getting ready for the playoffs.
We're heading, there's literally 4 or 5 nights to go in the regular season, so we're going to try to do our best to really encapsulate how the season has been going and where the season is headed.
So the one thing about the season that I've heard a lot of people say, the word that's been used is parity.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't have that 12-2 Rob Solomon with Norwood team that 10-2 they were, and then the ShamWow team that's 2-10.
Even as recent as a few years ago. I mean, like the M&S Holes had a 10-win team.
Right.
You have teams that usually are
teams.
starting and running away with it.
Right.
And the way the season started, I thought we were going to have that with All In, but they've actually been faltering and stumbling.
Yeah, so we're going to go down every team. That's what we're going to do.
One at a time, and we're going to touch upon them, and we'll get into as many details and storylines as possible.
Some pretty cool thing that we were talking about. Yeah, we didn't do a show, but the fact that we have been live every night. A big shout out to Jackie Towell, JT. Everybody loves when Jackie's in the booth when we're calling the game.
He was just given a 3-year extension from the M&S Media.
It was fantastic. And when Ray comes in the booth, whoever's there, we talk. Everybody sees the storylines unfold live in front of them. So that's a great addition we have. No excuse. I'd like for us to do more
100%,
shows.
But just a lot going on, as you could imagine.
Thank God. It's a lot of
moving
busyness.
states and a lot of things happening.
And kids and
exactly.
buses and
but either way, you want to start from the bottom up or you want to go from top to bottom? I think we should go from the bottom up.
Okay, so let's go bottom up. Bottom up. I just saw them. Bottoms up. I just saw.
Just do it, or just
do it.
Just don't do it. I don't know what they're doing.
Or it looks like their bottoms are 2 up. I don't know.
So they had a little rough start to their season, and Captain Saban is usually in the thick of things, usually in the semifinals, if not the championship.
He's not used to it in this league, not being in the dance.
Right, he's usually
and like
there.
you said, the dance doesn't have to be the finals, but he's always in the mix, whether he's part of a PepsiCo team or a Saban team, or any of these teams. So yeah, he's in a territory he's not used to. Now, is he mathematically done?
No, but what happens is he's going to need a win too and get some help going into the last week of the regular season.
Yeah.
Listen, they're 3-7. Look at the team on paper. They have A.B. Saka on the mound. Really, of all the pitchers, he's the guy that would be the most competitive of everybody.
So A.B. Saka, when he started the season, was not great. But I'll say, I don't even know what their actual record was over the last 3 matchups. He's been pitching really well, probably better than he has the whole spring and the beginning of this season.
But the story of their year and the reason why they're not where they want to be is because their second and third round picks just didn't show.
Yeah.
They didn't perform.
Yankee Gutman just...
Gutman had a rough go at it at shortstop, and Butchie
by the way, didn't hit either.
Up until last night after he was traded. And then Butchie at third base also wasn't his usual self. And
former Gold Glove winner, and just, again, last night played well defensively.
And that's the recipe for a team to not do well when your guys that you need to rely on aren't there. Listen, Saban made a desperation trade, traded Gutman and Butchie for Joe Greenberg. That didn't work out as either.
And Saul Adis?
Ralph Adis.
Can't never get his name
straight.
Sorry,
Ralph.
Ralph.
Showed he could play pretty good third base.
So he opened my eyes. I know it's one night, but it's funny. Jackie was saying in the thing, one easy play. Oh, another play.
Yeah, when he makes every play.
Yeah, and he's throwing the ball across the diamond with ease and velocity. He was really good at third, so that was a nice bright spot.
And then you could look at
Joji didn't have a great night last night.
No, listen, he's been having a rough go at it all year. So
yeah, whatever. The last couple of weeks was not his go. He didn't come the right frame of mind, you could say. And it was, like you said, Saban took a shot, went for the best player in the deal.
You can't fault Saban making that move because his team, the way it was playing and the way it was going, they weren't going to win anything anyway.
They took a shot.
A few bright spots on that team. Citron in the outfield.
That's the biggest bright spot on that team.
I feel like he's a future star in this league.
Zach Citron right now, he's hitting the ball hard, mainly to the left side. He could try to shoot it the other way, but he's got a great arm. Pegged the guy at the plate. Pegged out Charles Sack on a pretty decent fly ball at the plate last night. He has good reads on the ball. He's only going to get better, this kid. So he's really good.
Yeah, and then, guys like Eli Harari doing their job, et cetera, et cetera. Yitzhak Safdie having a good season, but nothing to show for it, really.
So Yitzhak Safdie defensively might be the top 2 defensive center fielders going after balls.
Right, but again.
Offensively, maybe didn't do enough.
this team, it is what it is. They're a last place team, and they had a lot of good names on paper, just didn't pan out. Ali Marshall not having a great year, Sabo not having a great year.
Sometimes it doesn't mesh.
Let's move on to the team
So
actually
again, they're
right
not
above
dead
them.
in the water. They still have hope, but that hope is very glimmer.
Now let's move on to the team right above them in the standings, and that's We the People.
We the people.
So no, this is a conundrum, this team, because you can talk more about it. I think you saw them more often than I did, but
saw them
still.
a lot. Now, one thing they have that they had to battle this season was Joseph Arati being injured. So they were behind the 8 ball right away. One of their catalysts, one of their leaders, the first round picks is not there. They picked up Get Safdie as a sub at times. I think they're getting Alan Jamal tonight, I believe.
It's been a roulette of
so it works
center
sometimes,
fielders.
didn't work. And it hurts when you don't have the guy who's really on your team. We understand, that's rough. Defensively, never got hurt. I think the offensive spark is what they were missing.
Yeah, 100%.
Now,
And you know what? A guy like Mark Richter, I thought would pick up the slack.
Yeah, he didn't hit
but
well.
he's not been picking up the slack. He still has a little time to do it.
His well-hit balls are gorgeous, but not often enough.
Right,
Their best hitter has been Solly Cohen, who's a machine, by the way.
Right.
He could hit, and he's playing a tremendous short center field. Solly, he's really good in short center. So there's been bright spots on this team.
Listen, Eddie Harari is pitching well.
Pitching very well.
So listen, they're 3-5. They're not dead in the water. Like you said, Solly's playing well. Solly S is showing he could be a star also in the future.
I think Solly Estes was getting a little bit, having a hard time acclimating to the coaching in our league and the bright lights and everything is magnified. But he's young.
Right.
He's only going to get better.
16 years old.
Yeah, they have a good team that could make a run. I'm not making predictions right now. I'm just going through the team.
Like I said, I agree. Their team definitely has the ingredients to do something, but I agree.
The back end of their lineup is their Achilles heel.
When Joe S. got hurt in the tournament, that was a big setback for their squad, 100%.
Yeah. But the back end of Tommy Ishak, when they won a big game last week, he got a big hit.
But they need, and that's the difference between the top teams in this league and
the bottoms of the lineup.
And the bottom half, the guys that are hitting, those
late
guys.
Those late round picks. Big shout out I want to give to Teddy Ishak. Teddy gets loud. Some people love it. Some people don't. Some people say don't scream. Some people say do. It goes one way or the other. But one thing Teddy did do last week that showed blood and guts was he was hanging on a leg on third base. He chose not to use a runner. He tagged up from deep on a deep ball. Solely Safdie with a good arm, and he dove in, and
I saw it. Everyone watched that.
As a warrior, that was leading by example.
And that clip went viral, and that clip actually showed why their season is still alive.
Yes. And I think they all took from that, like, wow, Teddy's willing to go all out for us. We got to play for him too. So that was beautiful. That was a warrior piece of.
And listen, those are the bottom two teams in the league. Now let's get from the 5 all the way through 1.
Yeah,
now,
so if you're going to play the odds, those are the 2 teams that are not going to make it.
But let's see. We'll make our predictions a little bit. But now, in 5th place right now, and as we know, the 4 plays the 5 and a 1-game wild card is all in. All in is 5-5. Now, the way the season started for them, I thought they were a favorite to win the World Series.
Yeah, so the Captain Michael, wow, I don't even know what I just said. Captain Michael came in saying 16-0, 16-0.
Yeah, and then he won the first 2. And
they were hot, they were fire. Then the one game they lost, they were missing Carlos anyway.
Right.
So it's not even really our team.
You can never count out this team. You have Joey Cohen on the mound. He's a top 2-3 pitcher in this league.
He had one very bad off week.
2 really, because 2 of the last 3 weeks he actually pitched poorly. I don't know what's going on.
It was 1 week where I really remember him getting hit.
And Michael's,
the other one wasn't bad.
Saying last week. And Michael's numbers are what they're supposed to be, so you can't fault Michael.
Michael's been playing great.
Carlos actually a surprise again, positively.
Carlos at night, he says he's more relaxed. He doesn't like waking up early all the time. When he comes at night, he feels more loose and he sees the ball better, and it shows. He just they batted him 3rd in the last game.
And it's very interesting. If you're looking up and down this team, you have a guy like Jackie Haber-Juber, who had won Player of the Week twice already. So you have guys that are playing well.
So their brightest start defensively. I mean, Michael in center is always a rock, but Carlos and Juber, those 2 set up on second and short center field and have been fantastic.
One of the reasons why they dropped a pair of games a few weeks ago is because they were missing Lawrence Kurtz in left field.
It hurts. He hasn't been hitting as well as he should.
But he plays a really solid outfield.
He's got great arm. He made a couple of web jumps when he played last. That over-the-shoulder Jim Edmonds type catch. I forgot who he made it on, but what a play. Hadon Cohen's been good at short. I'm not going to say great.
He's been hurt, though.
Yeah, he's been in and out. His sister's pushing him in pools. He's hurting his shoulder again. But he could play short. He definitely can handle shortstop, and you could go all the way with him there. Is he the best shortstop in the league?
No, but
no. Is he going to have moments where he makes a couple of ill-advised throws because of his release?
Could
Sometimes
be.
he looks great, but he definitely could win it there.
Well, listen, you have Maurice Haber doing his thing. You have Sam Loudon doing his thing.
Big credit to Maurice Haber, man.
Yeah, he's playing third base to first base.
Yeah, and he's hitting.
And also, we haven't said it yet on camera, Isaac Cabasso showed he could be a hitter.
12th rounder that kid hit. We should have an award this year, best hitting 12th rounder.
Right.
You know,
we have quite a few of them.
Yeah,
good competition.
They could hit.
And
Avi Dweck wasn't there last week. Was a big loss offensively for this team.
Right.
Okay. Defensively, Loudon held down third. Did okay, made one mistake, but they were good. They were fine.
And then Danny Shabbat is showing why he is the hitter we all thought he was going to be.
Early in the season, he looked like he had no clue, and then he just grabbed the bull by its horns, and wow, he could hit.
Now let's go to the next team.
So this team, I think they peaked early.
They did.
And I do think we mentioned it off camera before. There may be a little, what do we call it?
A hangover after the spring championship.
Yeah, so Maurice and Michael. Jackie wasn't part of that team, but it's his dad.
Their foot went off of the gas pedal.
A little bit. Just felt that way.
They were going at full throttle because they were in a playoff run at the same time because they were gearing up.
It's only 2 players that are on that team that were part of the YMSL.
The mentality.
It just felt like more. I don't know why.
It was the mentality of the squad.
So maybe I'm a little off there because Joey's dying to win, but it's just, the squad just had that little bit more relaxed feel. But
now let's go to currently the second.
I don't have to throw it. One bloop was a difference in them winning their last game.
Right, and that could be a difference of them being in 4th place to being in 3rd place.
That's true. But
now let's go to the team right above them in the standings. They actually finished their regular season schedule last night, and that is Fire. Fire is 6-6 on the year. Really, the way the standings are constituted right now, they could end up anywhere from 3 to 5.
Yeah.
So there's really it's a crapshoot.
All they can do now is scoreboard watch. I think they guaranteed themselves more baseball. I think that's a fact.
I think no matter what, they clinched a play-in.
Yeah, that's
true.
true.
I think even maybe they might have even clinched a wild card.
Yeah, I think so. I do think they did. Max Yadid is the motor that keeps this one going. He was scuffling early in the season in both spring at the end and the beginning by us, and he picked it up now.
Yeah,
now Max is pitching well.
He looks like the Max Yadid that was drafted in the spot he was drafted in.
That's right.
A few bright spots that going into the year I didn't think were going to be difference makers, but a guy like David Sabag this past week had 5 ribbies. He's in the top 3 in the league in RBIs.
Got the big hit over Albert Cohen's head to really win that game too. I mean, it was the first hit, but holy moly, it was big.
And then a big shout out to Gabe Abadi, who suddenly is hitting. We all know he can play defense, but suddenly he's hitting.
Now, he always hits the ball hard, Gabe. Numbers never always did. They put him in the leadoff spot. I don't want to say it again because I feel like on the live I said it a million times. But I think since he's gone to that leadoff spot, his on-base percentage is over a 600.
And speaking about moving in the lineup, they moved Isaac Sasson in the 2-hole in Game 2 this past week.
Yeah, I liked it.
And he broke out. He had 3 hits, including a bomb of a home run.
He did.
And we all know in other leagues he plays, and he has a lot of success. I was telling him, when his fingerprints are not on a team, he's not assertive. So I said, you got to be assertive. And when they batted him too, he felt more involved.
Right, what was the team he's on? The Melonheads?
Melonheads, right. He's one of the him and Trim are co-captains.
Right, he's got a big voice.
And even in Brooklyn League, he's the co-captain, of his team. So
hard to tell a guy like Sasson to do that when you have Ray,
it's impossible
Estes, and Ike Mavora, who are veterans and been captains of dozens of teams in different leagues. So it's hard for him to really get in there like that. But it looks like it's working. Buka's starting to hit the ball better. And this is a team that when I saw them, I wasn't heavily impressed. It looked like a little blah.
Listen, they made a move. They put Leo Pachotto up the middle yesterday.
So Ray's playing third. Ray looked great at third at times. He had a couple of low throws maybe, but Ray can handle it. Their defense is not an issue. They have a couple of things they can do. You know, Leo Pachotto can go back to third. Sabag could play the middle. They're a team. By the way, one of the things I loved about this team, Sabag played DH. And there wasn't even.
Yeah, it was everyone was good with it.
Yeah, we're a team
over
over
here.
The
defense, Leo Pachotto at short center looked like a Gold Glove yesterday.
He did. He
was
looked
unbelievable.
He looked great. And Victor Abadi, aside from thank you, Victor, bringing some cream products.
A lot of ice cream,
A lot of delicious. But he played a great right field when he played out there.
Listen, they have guys contributing. Like Shmuel Lewis had a week or two where he was
tearing it up.
I know he cooled down a little bit, but Sol Towel, like you said, hitting the ball well.
Sol Towel became a hitter right now. Now he's not just scrappy. He's
and even guys, even though he had a rough go at it last week, Enoch, he showed he could hit the ball as well.
So this is a team that I think is the dark horse. I'm not giving them the favorite, but what Maxie did on the mound, with these names that we just mentioned that could put up more runs, and we didn't mention Ike Mavora's bat.
Right.
When it comes to playoff time, you don't want Ike Mavora up with a runner on second and 2 outs. You might walk him, and then you have Leo Pachotto on deck. You know, they have a good team. So And they have a lot of speed, this team. A lot of speed.
Like you said to start the show, there's parity, and there's a lot of good teams here. Especially in these top 5 teams, they're all bunched in, and anyone could win.
There's a team that definitely can win, and I like it. I just mentioned they have a lot of speed. Enoch, Buka, Sasson, there's more. Victor Abadi, Sabag, they have a lot of wheels on this team.
Right.
Okay, Shmuel Lewis has been running hard, not like the other guys,
right,
but it is,
and now,
they have a good team.
Let's
a
go,
lot of speed.
Let's go to the number 3 seed right now, and this team right now is 5-3, so they have 2 weeks to go, and they've shown that they far and away have the most power in the league, and that's apropos with their name, the Baby Bombers.
The Bombers.
So Captain Hank DeWeck, as
Rookie captain.
You all may have seen on Instagram and going through all the chats, hit 2 balls over the fence in one night.
Wow.
And then a few weeks back, to follow that, we had rookie, because he got hurt in year 1 after 1 week, Vic Allahan put a ball, and he's an absolute monster.
We didn't have time to do it yet. I want to look at the draft, and I want to pick out the 4 best steals. And I think Allahan might be number 1 on that list. He may be. I don't know. But he really looks good at the plate.
Right, no, definitely.
Hits the ball hard, and he's a beast.
Yeah, we're recording. Go ahead.
So we have what I'm looking at on this team, this Baby Bomber team. My son's on the mound.
Yeah. And now, he talk about surprises. I think he has 3 shutouts.
He does have 3 shutouts.
And he's 16 years old.
15.
15.
Last week, he got shelled in game 1, came back game 2, and threw a shutout. To me, that was the most impressive thing that I saw.
Yeah.
Because
bounce back.
It was a bounce back. He got hit hard, and he clearly got hit hard. There might have been one misplay by Shimmy in center that really was not cool. But after that, there was a lot of hard.
I'll tell you why I like this team. They're right now number 3 seed, and that's without JoJo Saruya being JoJo Saruya.
And JoJo got on base a lot last time, but I hear what you're saying.
He's not the MVP type of guy.
Not the mashing Joe.
Uri Adler showing he could play good third base, and he's a professional hitter playing third. Worth the draft stock where they drafted him in the 2nd round.
So I don't want to be biased one way or the other. My kids are on a few teams here. There's something about this team I like a lot. I just don't see climbing over the hump.
Could be not. Okay. I see where you're coming from. They're missing DC, actually a big player for them also
good
in the
defender,
outfield.
Yeah.
Shimmy, we didn't even mention.
They have a good team.
Listen, can they win? Of course they can win.
I just don't see it. My predictions, I see them beginning. Now, it's interesting. We said there's no team that really ran away. That the most wins a team could get is 9. These guys could get 9 still.
Right.
They could rattle off 4 in a row. It's not impossible. But I don't see that happening. And I like their team. I think they're going to be in the playoffs. I think they'll be in the Final 4. I just don't think it's going to go further than that. I think they're missing attitude maybe. There's a little edge that's not there.
Right, they're very passive.
Yeah, that's the feeling I get. I mean, last week they were 1 inning away from being 6-2. Uri Adler, who's a really good defensive third baseman, had 1 tough inning, and boom, there you go.
And he said it. I cost my team the game.
Yeah,
he was not happy.
He was very hard on himself. But they're a solid team. I don't think they have one
Listen, bottom line,
glaring weakness.
Can Yitz win the World Series?
Hard.
At 15 years old, when the lights are shining the brightest in the postseason.
I don't think Yitz cares. I don't think he watches these things. He just goes about his business. He tells me at 4 o'clock, Daddy, do I have a game tonight? Like that. He's a little different.
And that's what makes him really successful, and that could also make him not successful by not caring as much.
Now, I don't think this team has one glaring weakness. Like some people say, the back end of the lineup of Teddy's team, for example, right? The defense on the left side of all in. We didn't bring that in, but Hadon and Avi Dweck. These guys don't have that one weakness. They're good all around. Just like I said, I think they're missing the edge.
But now, speaking of teams that don't have a weakness, I think after this trade that we talked about a little before, in the top 2 seeds, we'll start in the number right now. The way it's situated in the standings is Diamond in the Rough at 6-4.
Wow! So these guys have a long lineup now.
Right, and now this team, after the trade they made, I mean, they were at the time 4-4 when they made the trade, so it wasn't like they were terrible. But they traded
a 500 team.
They traded their number 1 pick in Joe Greenberg.
The trade was made by 2 teams that were 1 game apart.
4-4, 5-3,
3-5. And not only 1 game apart, their very next matchup against each other.
They played each other.
So that was awesome. They could have ousted them just like that in one night. You don't have to even scoreboard
and
watch.
It shows you whoever had the right mentality is who came out on top. So last night, the 2 players that got traded was Butchie Cohen and Yankee Gutman. They slid in like seamlessly on this Diamond in the Rough team. Gutman went to second base where he belongs.
So does Yankee Gutman, if you corner him and you ask Yankee, what what is your position? Does he say shortstop or does he say second base?
Well, we know he has success here. Won the World Series, had
At
a big,
second.
huge home run at second base.
Second base.
So we know that.
But even
However,
defensively, he plays a great second
I
base.
think in our league with the gold ball and the way the ball comes off the bat, he belongs at second.
It's a hard infield. Our infield is not the easiest field to work with. And they have Whamma at shortstop, who's playing a really good defense.
Right, 100%. And hey, you have surprises, guys like Ike Batesh, who's hitting the,
batting
over a 600.
Yeah, Ike can hit, man. Ike's used the KJ school. He's gone to KJ's cages and all that stuff, and it made a difference because he's really hitting.
And this team is so well-rounded. Look at Jackie Towell DHing, subbing in the stead of Eddie Rishti. Alan Jamal covering half the outfield on his own.
That's a big thing. So Joe G is a Gold Glove center fielder defensively, but you're really not missing much when Alan Jamal moves there.
100%.
Alan Jamal is overqualified in left field. He's a center fielder.
And like you said, guys like Albert Sitt manning right field the way he can.
He was playing first before.
A catcher like Albert Mastery catching Edmund Beta, not for the first time in his career. They've done it in Brooklyn before.
Edmund Beta's velocity went up. Watching him last night.
Edmund Beta is improving before our eyes, week in, week out. Won the World Series last year, coming back now with the vengeance at 6-4. Can he repeat? You'll find out our prediction soon.
So the big thing I saw this trade we didn't even mention yet is they were able to slide Charles Saka from third to short center. And short center field, I was talking with Jackie about this last night. You can get away with a lot of guys in short center field, and they'll do a good job. But when you have a difference maker there with the rest of the infield, wow. That's why Juber there was big. Charles Saka is the same way. Charles Saka ranges right and left great, got a great arm. And Butchie at third base looked like he was cozy again. So they got an extra bat in this trade because Ralph Adis didn't really show to be much of a bat.
You got his name right.
I got it this time. Took me a few. But you got an extra bat. Joe G really wasn't performing to Joe G levels anyway. Even if he was, you're getting two bats.
And then they got holes they had in the infield were plugged. So
because Albert Sitt could play right field well. Jackie Towell's not allowed out there, and Jackie is happy to be in the DH spot now. And guess what? 5 for 6 with a double, hitting the ball hard.
It suits him well.
Yeah, he was happy to be there.
Now let's move on to the team that's right now in first place, tied in first place, also at 6-4, and that's United We Stand. So now this team, I think, has the deepest lineup in the league.
They do. And they have the deepest lineup in the league because it's funny, when Stephen Gindy started his draft, people didn't love the team. And I think starting from picking
Jimmy.
When they took Jimmy, there was a question if it was good or bad. They took Yak. Yak's amazing. He's an animal. The guy's probably the scariest hitter at the plate when he's up. But the way the draft looked, they're like, Steven's picking all offense. And then to top it off, he took Solly Safdie in front of his brother Yitzchak, who's noted to be the glove. So they're like, Steven's still going offense. But Steven made up for it later on, getting
100%.
a Jackie Sutton for third base.
Getting a Jack Barnathan for second base.
Getting a Barnathan for second. Very
Albert Cohen.
Maybe the steal. Albert Cohen.
So let's just
look at those numbers.
Well, one of the reasons this team is in first place is Albert Cohen. He leads the league in hits. He right now leads the league in average. He is in the top 2 or 3 in doubles, triples, home runs, slugging, on base. He's having an all-star caliber year.
He is a fast man.
Has legs.
Who could run the bases.
Has arm in the outfield, and he plays the outfield extremely well.
That's something I wanted to bring up. He started the season in left. By the way, his first week defensively in left wasn't fantastic. I think he had to get a little used to the night lights, whatever. But Steven chose to put him in right, keep Solly in center, who Solly showed us has a good arm. Pegged 3 guys out in one night, big spots. And Joe Shalom, who could hit.
He could flat out hit.
We all thought he was going to be a weak bat.
Over the last 2 weeks. And also he could play left field.
He could definitely play
over
left
the
field,
last 2 weeks, he put 2 balls over the left fielder's head, one hopping the fence and off the warning track.
So they're going to have to respect his power, and that's going to give him better chance of getting more hits.
And then, obviously, the elephant in the room for that team right now is Jimmy Malak getting hurt.
Yeah,
just had surgery. Who will they be picking up? Let's keep our eyes open for that.
Yeah,
and
Jimmy
then, obviously,
had to fix his quad muscle.
Melech in the middle of the lineup. Avi Shemueli showing he's a hitter as well.
So Melech really didn't hit his stride offensively yet. Hitting some balls hard, but not doing what Melech does. And we didn't bring up the big one.
Who?
Ralph Hannon is the question.
That's not going to end it. Also, we have Jack Beebe in the mix. So the reason why I am not so sold on this team is because this team has had 2 pitchers on the mound for the majority of the year. I mean, we've seen in the past that can be successful.
Which pitcher has the most wins? Is it Ralph or Yak?
It might be even. It could be even.
3-3.
Ralph
I think
has
it is because there's 6 wins. Yeah.
Ralph hasn't always been available, and Yakov's been the Johnny on the spot. And they had a week where they pulled Yak off the mound, and Ralph came in because he was elsewhere, wherever he was.
They ended up winning that game.
They won the
then
game,
come
but there
from
was a lot of
behind.
controversy. And I know there's who's going to get the ball come play with them. It looks like Steven's giving Ralph the nod. However, I know there might be something brewing internally. I don't want to start anything.
Right. So we don't want to talk about what's going on in people's clubhouses. I just want to bring up what we see in front of us on the live when I'm calling the game. This team, I think, is the deepest team.
Yeah, I agree.
I think they're the deepest team.
Offensively, they're...
Melech and Yak, by the way, Yak's not getting on as much as I know he can, and Stephen Gindey had a rough week.
He couldn't hit, you did well, but as we know, Yakov, speaking about stride, hits a stride in the postseason.
I know, and I believe Steven's going to turn it around. Solly Safdie had a hard time against Maxi D too, but I know he could hit.
I want to tell you, two years, Yakov on Shim Shady and Yakov on Where We Go and We Go All, carried the team offensively
when they get
for the entire postseason stretch.
Nobody has more confidence than Yakov, and he wants to be up in the big spot, and he could hit the ball with the best of them. I think when the field gases with him, he gets into his own brain. I think just go up there. I'm not your coach, but hit the ball as hard as you can every time. I don't care if there's 10 guys in that spot. They ain't picking up your ground ball when you hit it that hard.
All right, now,
but they have all their positions filled.
Which is one of the reasons why they're in first place.
Exactly. The question is the mound. Now, we saw Ralph Hannon got into a little bit of a spat with his old captain that he won the championship with. And I think one of the issues here is they have so much youth that Stephen Gindey is coaching them the way he does best. I think Ralph feels this is my opinion, I didn't talk to anybody, feels he's getting coupled into that. And he wants to be in the brain trust.
Right.
And trust me, let me do me.
Well, the only way to get into the brain trust is if you show up every week.
So that's big. That could be what Steven's thinking too. So I give them the favorite to be in the World Series and win it.
Wow.
Now, are they going to do it? This pitching camaraderie. The team was not a unit. They split last week, but there was clearly heads being butted.
So you just jumped in and made your championship pick. I guess I'll do that as well right now. I'm going to go with the other first place team. After that trade they made, there was question marks going in. I said, and they had a star player that was disgruntled and making it difficult for the team to operate on all cylinders. I think inserting Butchie at third, putting Gutman where he's comfortable at second, JT DHing, Wama at shortstop playing the lights out. Edmund Beto showed he could be a champion in this league as recent as last year. Their outfield is where it needs to be. They have every position covered. Their lineup is deep. I think they're all feeling themselves in a good way. And I think
that sounded funny.
Yeah, that's my team to win the championship. I just my opinion, obviously. And now let's go to the two teams that we don't think are going to make the playoffs.
So easy to say right now. The way we're doing the show this late in the game.
Yeah, it's easy to make it
easy just to.
And I know we could be wrong. Like, watch, We the People could sneak in maybe, but
the easy ones.
We're both going to say, I guess, the same.
Yeah,
just do it, and We the People. And again,
it's just too easy.
And I would love to be proven wrong. I would love to see We the People make a run.
I want to see a fun baseball. That's what we like. Again, who's going to coach third base on United We Stand?
Who's going to coach third? Not Yakov.
Okay, I don't know.
Not Yakov.
Just bringing up some fun stuff. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a fun ride. There's been a lot of storylines. We didn't bring it all up. The big thing, Sammy mentioned it, Fuashi Lamada, Jimmy Malach.
Yep.
But one of the things about United, I know losing Jimmy in that lineup is huge. He's one of the best hitters in the league, if not the best. But they don't miss a beat defensively. Okay, they got Bar Nathan at second, and Yak could hold it down at first just fine. So that much they're good. They're going to get a sub of some sort. We don't know who yet. They're working on it. We're here to help if they need. We try.
I heard some mentions of a potential Saul Cohen.
If he gets knocked out.
If he's knocked out. Looking at teams that are not going to make the playoffs.
So they could be doing that. There might be somebody else. So that's a question on that team, too. So a team that I'm picking. But I still hold to it that I like. I think Ralph's going to hold it down. Now, Ralph has a lot to prove now. He had a tough spring season. And people are saying he got hit the other night.
He had a tough Lakewood season.
Yeah, he got hit over there at the end. So, but I think he's got it in him. I'm watching him. If they're all rally around him with his defense, when Ralph's throwing it, he just can't have those
Can't
innings.
walk four guys.
That's
Can't
right.
do it.
Can't walk four in an inning. He'll tell you they helped that happen. They're going to say, shut up and throw strikes.
Listen, poor defense does contribute to bad pitching, but bad
does.
pitching does contribute to poor defense.
It goes, what's the line? I never get it straight. Ike Mavor says it.
Don't even try.
Your lineup stinks if you don't hit.
Yeah, just don't even try.
I can't even bother trying. But those are the two on the bottom. We picked the same. I have my winner.
I have my winner. And guess what?
Assuming they play each other in the World Series, maybe.
Very possible. But again, there still is a good week to go.
Yeah.
Where a lot of things could change.
A lot of stuff could happen.
And then next time we'll speak to you guys, I guess will be once we have our postseason matchup set.
Yeah, Mori Datal. Let's keep it up. Hashem has been giving us beracha
Thank God.
with the weather. It's been great. We had to fix the field a few times, but all good. I think we pretty much summed it all
I
up.
think we covered everything.
Guys, that now this is when it gets down and dirty. This is when you got to hustle out every ball. I mean, you always have to hustle out every ball.
But not everyone shares that sentiment, I guess.
We want to always give you best. Guys maybe aren't feeling great, but now it's the playoff push. This is when you give it what you got.
Now's
And
where
like
we
I
see
said, learn from Teddy Ishak, running on one leg.
who wants it most. That's
Yeah,
usually
this is
who
it.
prevails.
Who wants it more? Not always. Sometimes when the talent's too good. Okay. We brought up the Avi Shmuelis that could hit. The Zach Citron going late. The Isaac Cabassos. Albert Cohen in the middle. Alham. So many fun
A lot of good
young
rookies.
guys.
A lot of
Now,
good rookies.
I'm not going to bring up names that haven't done the job, but there's some guys that we let come in. I don't know if they're going to want to be back, but everybody gives their best.
Every year, there are guys that knock on our door for year after year to try to get into the league. And sometimes things pan out, sometimes things don't.
Right.
Man, we don't got to say any names.
No
But the
need
ones
to
that
say.
don't pan out, I guess they understand it's not panning
Right.
out for them.
They
And the
see
ones
it
that are
doesn't work.
succeeding, you'll
It's
see
great to have them in.
We'll
It's
see them
great.
back again next year,
You
I
know,
guess.
like having these young guys, even like Isaac Cabasso. You see the guy can hit the ball. It's
Yep.
great.
Yep.
He's just one of many. So it's been a fun ride. It's been consistent.
And by the way, don't think for a second that the youth movement is done. Next year in the
way.
pipeline, there's a good 15 new kids.
We have names that we wanted in that are going to Israel.
Right, and
Hold
now-
on, a name that I could bring up. He's been in the league and he's great. Sammy Saruya.
Yeah,
He's-
guys like that.
Yeah.
There are quite a few of them that.
Saul Cohen's nephew, Erwin Dayan, in the tournament, he was fantastic.
How about this? Isaac Chunk Antar played
Yes,
at MSB.
he could
He
play.
could really lock down second base.
So there's a lot of that. I mean, every year there's some guys that don't come back, so it makes room for these guys that we want in, and we always have that tight crunch at the end. You know, we can't wait.
Yeah, but
to
I'll
get
tell you
willing.
one. The fact that we have so many young guns that have skill that we want to build the league around, we're not going to be asking more than once to guys that usually give us pushback.
We want everybody back, but if you can't come, like I'm excited to get Zach Ashkenazi back next year. You know, Zach said this year he got married, he's traveling abroad, with abroad.
Certain guys,
you know,
makes sense. Certain
but,
guys not. But either way,
Jacobati, God, I don't know how it went at the end in the Maccabi games.
he
but
won the bronze.
Great shot. I mean, it was so cool to watch him
Yeah,
out
that was
there.
awesome. That was awesome.
And
Congratulations.
Really, yeah, it was awesome, man. Seeing him at the plate in that uniform, hustling and being part of that's a dream. That's pretty cool. So we'd love to have him back, but again, he couldn't come this year. So there's a lot of guys like that on and off. It always changes, but it's just been a fun ride. Let's live this year right
Yeah,
now.
we're
and
living
enjoy
in the
it.
moment. Let's see how the rest unfolds. We'll see you guys soon, and thanks for tuning in, and we apologize for our absence up until now.
Yeah, and I think I apologize that we went so long today, but I hope you're still watching.
Yeah, me too. Anyway, see you.